Hi guys, it's Ankita. Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. This is the first book in a trilogy. The second book came out last year and the third book is due this November unless the date has changed. But I thought it was a good time to pick this book up so that I have all the books to read back to back. Anyway, let's talk about this one. In this story, darkness has descended. The greenery has disappeared. There are no flowers, lots of dead things around, fungi and mushrooms growing instead, which is like a perfect environment for vampires. These are like zombie-like vampires. Anyway, so because the daylight is so dim, it's just perfect for vampires to even roam around during the daytime. And so it's the Empire of the Vampires. So at the beginning of this book, we find out that Gabriel de Leon, our protagonist, has been captured. He's now a captive and he's soon going to be executed. But before he is executed, a historian wants to document all of his life events, his story basically, because Gabriel de Leon is a very special man. He is a silver saint. So we find out what that means, and Gabriel starts his story as a youngster when he finds out that he is half human and half vampire. And so when he finds this out, he also learns that there is a brotherhood made up of people just like him, and these youngsters are trained to be warriors, to fight for humans against vampires. And so Gabriel enters into this monastery of these warrior monks, people like him, and he soon finds out he is an underdog. And so he tells us the story of his young days, of how he rose from being an underdog to a hero. He talks about his glory days. And very, very conveniently, there's a nunnery right next to the monastery. Yeah. And religion is a main theme in this, and the religion in this book is one faith, which is very much based on Catholicism. Like the sign of the cross becomes the sign of the real savior is the redeemer in this one. So not a lot of imagination when it comes to world building in terms of religion in this, which was really disappointing to me for 50% of the book. And then I was like, maybe the author has done this intentionally, and I'm still not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I wasn't a fan of it. I was like, this is fantasy, you can do much better. But again, if that was just never the intention, and his intention was for people to be very clearly be able to kind of create those parallelism, like the parallels in between these fantasy religion and Catholicism, then I guess he has been successful. But I wasn't a fan of that anyway. And then Gabriel also moves on to his days when he is much older, and there the story kind of becomes like a quest, and a quest for the Holy Grail. So very much like the Da Vinci Code or whatever. But yeah, it reminded me of medieval Templars, protecting the Holy Grail sort of a thing. So these themes kind of like go back and forth between like his young days and his days of the quest. And I don't know how I feel about this story, the world building. Everything felt like a mashup of the books that I've read. Like in Gabriel de Leon, sometimes I found him very annoying, like Fitz from the Farseer trilogy, and then at times he was like Percy Jackson, half human, half god. There's a lot of mystery surrounding Gabriel de Leon that we don't know yet. So I'm really curious to read the second book just to find out what's going on with him. Who is he? What's his family history? We don't know a lot about it. I also liked some of the ending in this, like one particular scene of the ending. Again, so much happens in this. There is profanity on every page of this book. Every page. There are some stunning illustrations, absolutely stunning, but some of the illustrations are very explicit, so couldn't read this book on the train. I am a bit conflicted about whether I really loved this story. I think whether I really love this story and recommend it would depend on the ending of the story. So after the third book, I think I'll have like much stronger opinion about this book. Can I recommend this book to you? So I picked this book up because I love vampires, and I thought, what is better than a fantasy by a really well-known author? And I was like, yeah, and there are vampires in this, so I was so excited to read this. Didn't at all know that the main theme is religion, which is so not my thing. But again, there is a lot more in this. This is a story about a rise of the hero, a hero who craves glory. So he reminded me a little bit of Achilles. Like I said, Gabriel de Leon is like a mash, like a mash of a lot of characters that I've read in literature and through, like, in fantasy. It's just what it is. But there's the mystery surrounding him, and that is what makes the character intriguing. It's also a story about friendship and loyalty. There are a lot of themes that are explored in this book, like gay rights, I would say. Like there's also LGBTQ representation in this. I'm gonna stop holding this book. It's really heavy and floppy. Yeah, so would I recommend this book to you? If you're okay with profanity, if you don't mind a couple of explicit pages in this, are looking for good storytelling, I would recommend this book to you. But again, like, I don't feel very strongly that I can recommend this book to anyone. I think I might be able to say more once I read the second book. Anyway, one more thing I forgot is that another thing that annoyed me about this book was the narration. It's like Gabriel de Leon is captive and he's telling us the story, and that sort of narration is something that I really struggle with, and I feel it is more limiting and it is more biased when one character is telling their own story, and you just don't get any other perspective. To me, it's a bit restrictive, makes the character a little bit annoying at times. But yeah, I have no idea why the author went with this style. So very much like An Interview with the Vampire, right? I love that book and I would recommend it. Excellently done. This one, I'm not that sure about the narration, the narrative style in this. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this book. Do let me know in the comments down below if you have a favorite vampire book. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care.